Your mind is a prison. So it is either heaven or hell on earth based on that. Your mind is a prison. And by default, our modern world pulls us to distraction. It pulls us to manipulation, propaganda, control, persuasion. It wants us to buy a certain way, vote a certain way, think a certain way, accept the established status quo and prop that up for everybody in whatever society or culture you're living in and born into. The problem is, what if that society or culture you're born into and living in is sick or twisted, or has its priorities backwards, or is leading you into unhealthy pursuits that are sapping your spirit, your long-term health, etc., which is, that's literally what we have in most modern worlds, but particularly in America has its own flavor of it. Consumerism, more comparison, the addiction of technology and distraction, blaming others, now victim culture, and blaming the world and victim mindset, and the world's so unfair and evil and this and that, and tribalism. Like, it's, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. And I've been talking about how I've tapped out of current events, so I'm not going to go there. But society in the modern world is built in a way to support lots and lots of people. It's not built in a way to allow you or to make it easy for you. It can allow you, right? We do have certain freedoms, but most people will never break out of that and never express their ability to be a completely unique, sovereign individual, because the environment, their environment, people, society, culture, whatever, is too powerful a force to overcome for most people. Now, everybody can, though. And you should be constantly trying to revolt against what tradition says, orthodoxy, status quo. What your parents say is the best or whatever. You need to find your own truth, your own path, and you need to live that. And you need to continually pull back layers from that onion to get down to the core of who you are, what's your truth, what matters to you, and how do you want to live. And even watching this video, social media video, YouTube, we get into this thing where we want a simple 5-step process to do this thing, or we want to solve this problem. It's hard to get people interested in big ideas like this and challenging the self, the ego. Generally, it's people that are looking for that will then go to the popular sources. They'll find the popular books. They'll find maybe the popular channels. They'll find the popular talking heads or whatever. It's a very interesting thing. The algorithm and psychology and niches and following and topics and whatever. And for me, the theme is just always how can I get better? How can I become more aware, more sovereign, and live more of what my truth is, and figure out what my truth is. Figure out what truth is that I've found and cultivated versus truth that others have implanted into me and that culture's implanted into me. Because that's the default. Everything that you think you are, everything that you grew up with, every belief that you have is from the external world. Think about that. And we delude ourselves through a lot of bias to believe that our beliefs are good, are right, are true. We don't analyze where they came from. Even most of the time, our bad behavior and things that we do, mistakes, we try to explain away. And we talk about our childhood or this or that, or we make excuses, or we blame other people for our failings. All that does is keep you further from the truth. What is your truth? Who are you? What is the truth of reality, of nature, of perception, of the mind? These are all really big ideas, and they're not always very easy to wade through. This is definitely murky stuff. You definitely have to go through some harsh realizations. You definitely have to, crush some demons and confront them. In fact, all you have to really do is confront them and accept them. You don't really have to crush anything. And most people can't do that, though. They can't deal with the pain. So they'd rather live in distraction. They'd rather live their entire lives following other people's paths that have been set for them by somebody else or some other thing. And then they wonder, or maybe they don't wonder, but they wonder why, as Thoreau said, why did Thoreau say that most men and women, it wasn't a PC time, but most men and women live lives of quiet desperation, going to their grave with their song still inside them. Think about that a second. Most people live, we're talking like the 40, 50 years that they're lucky to get in their adult lives. Quiet desperation, bouncing from one distraction to another, not content, not really happy, not fulfilled, always looking for something or whatever. And then they go to the grave with their song still inside them. They go to the grave with their truest potential, their ability to give their gifts to the world, their art, their self-actualization, whatever they could contribute. They go to the grave with that inside them, and they never actually let it unleash into the world. And for sure, the world probably would have been a better place if they did. I don't have a point today, just other than kind of think about these things. And I think the first step in kind of breaking through the matrix is realizing that it's even there. And there's the matrix of society. They say taking the red pill, but really what you need to do is take the red pill for your life. What things have you told yourself are who you are and what you're supposed to do and this and that you've clung to, those beliefs that you cling to so strongly as your identity, as like your North Pole, and anything that threatens that, you have to fight. Like, what of those things are not serving you, are backward, or maybe toxic, or maybe just like based in that, like bad ideas, like based in falsicities? No, that's not a word. Based in false, maybe it is a word. I gotta figure that out. Based in things that are false. We'll say it that way. Based in things that are false, which a lot of things that people believe in 2020 that has overtaken literally the ability for the entire world to critically think. A lot of it is based in inaccurate data, not reality, not fact, not what's really happening. It's based on fear and apparitions and ghosts and boogeymen. So do that for your own life. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.